Gamers, I am back with another video. This time, the tournament season has started, and my first match was against Zerton. So here are the results. Spoilers! Marine Lord barely won against Cat 3-0. Louis won 3-1 against Demu. I won against Zerton 3-0. Kilardi, who is getting butchered next week by me, won 3-2 against B. Very nice, congrats. And then these matches are being played today as I'm recording this. So next week I am playing on June 8th against Kilardi. I'm taking it out for a swim. I'm gonna drown him! He's in the chat, so he knows what's coming. So, it's a GSL group system. A lot of people were confused what GSL group system means. What it means is it's seed 1 in the group versus seed 4, seed 2 versus seed 3, and then it's winner versus winner, loser versus loser, which is basically an elimination match, and then it's a decider match. So if I win versus Kilardi, I pass the group first. So whoever wins here passes the group as first. Whoever wins here goes on to the decider match. So let's say I beat Kilardi and Zerton beats B. That means that B is out of the tournament. Zerton moves into the decider match. I move to the next stage of the tournament, and Kilardi gets to play against Zerton for the second place in the group. So that's how GSL system works. And then the maps, I'll explain to you guys right now. So there's 15 maps in the tournament, and basically the way this tournament works is unique. We haven't had this kind of draft before. There's 5 different categories. I think it's like water, hybrid, closed off, open, which is like coastal, dry Arabia Gorge, and then you have wild or chaos, whatever the fuck it's called. The way it works is I tell my opponent, in this case I told my opponent, you pick category 4. So he chooses the first map of the series between dry Arabia, gorge, and coastal. He can only pick one map. And then I pick whatever category. So let's say I picked 4 lakes. So I could have picked any of the maps that are remaining except from category 4, so I picked 4 lakes. So you cannot pick Cavason, Water Drake, Dry Arabian Gorge anymore. And then he picked, then I picked, then he picked. So that's how that works. There's 15 maps, but you only obviously play 5 in a best of 5. But you cannot pick 2 maps from the same category. So a funny thing happened in the draft. So there are 2 water maps basically and 3 land maps. Let's look at it that way, right? So a funny thing happened in the draft. So I vetoed Rus in English, he vetoed Rus in Byzantine. So I picked HRE because it's a very versatile civ. You can play it on all of these maps, right? So I was like, I'll pick HRE. It's a comfort pick, I like it. He picks Byzantines, and I'm like, okay, that's 1 land civ. So I'm like, okay, if he bans English next, and I ban water civ, he might be running out of water civs, right? So then, as we pick Atro and Byzantines, I ban China, and he bans English. He picks Japanese, and I pick Jushi Legacy, which meant that he ran out of water civs to pick. So, basically he has Japanese for either 4 lakes or Holy Island, but all these other civs are not great on water maps, so he kind of ran out there already. So in the draft, at this point, I was like, I probably won the draft already. So we continued. I picked Mongol, JD, China, and Abbasid, picking like the other. I vetoed Abbasid too, so he can't play it on water. So basically, I picked up all the water civ maps, but I can also play them on land. But not every land civ can be played on water map. So, going into it, we're going to go through the games. The first match was JD versus Byzantine. Now, you guys know that I have a little bit of a disliking for JD, and I have a bit of a also disliking for Byzantines, but in the other way, because they're disgusting. So, why did I pick JD? I got this question so many times because I always shit on JD, and why did I pick it? Basically, he could have played 3 civs here most likely, which is Delhi, Malian, or Byzantines. So if I got JD versus Malian or Delhi, that's not bad for me. Like it's okay matches. It's probably one of the better matches for JD in my opinion. And obviously he could have picked Byzantines, but then I'm like, what's a good civ against Byzantines? There's not really one. So whatever I could have picked, like China or Abbasid or Atrium, like, you know, they're not necessarily good matchups. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go with JD. It'd be kind of funny because everyone knows I hate JD, and I don't think he's going to expect it. So if I get JD versus Mongol Delhi, that's good. If I don't, I lose against Byzantine, and I still have the rest of the draft for me. So that's kind of the thought process behind it. This game, we're gonna speed it up. It started pretty standard, nothing crazy happened. We just went on to scout and do a little bit of scouting here and there, getting some sheep. I had a boar here next to my deer, so I wanted to get that somewhat early before I get fucked by Byzantine. But I was going into this basically like, if I lose, it is what it is. Like, it's not like, oh my god, I can't believe I lost that. But if I win, I'll probably win 3-0. Because just like I know, just like Twitch chat knows, he also knows that this is not a good matchup for me, right? So if I win this, it's kind of like kills the morale completely. Why did I pick JD over French? Because if I was gonna play JD, it would be on this map. And this map doesn't have stone nearby. Technically, you can still go... and also, you don't want to go 2TC against Byzantines, so that's the only reason. Like, on the off chance of playing against Malian or Delhi or Byzantine, you wouldn't want to go 2TC with French. You would go 1. So if I go 1 TC, I would rather play JD over French, basically. That's it. So I pushed in some deer here, made sure I have them close by. I had 8 workers here, I ate job, everything's good. And so funny thing happened here. I actually picked the range JD. And the moment, so my idea was, I'm gonna push in with knights and range JD, right? Because he's gonna have limit 10A, so that's pretty good. And the moment I clicked it, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna go javelin throwers. Like the moment I clicked the Archer J, because she takes bonus damage against javelin throwers, and I was like, why the fuck did I do that? So, which is what you usually do in this matchup, right? You go jabs. So I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. So I picked and I was like, okay, I'll just have to keep it alive, you know? And once she levels up to level 3, then she can one-shot the javelins with the arrow ability. So it's pretty... it's okay. So I knew I gotta do some damage. Like, I cannot just do nothing and wait and I'm gonna win the game somehow. I have to be aggressive, I have to force fights, even though they're not really gonna be favorable fights for me. So I get the boar here. And, so he already moved from gold very early, actually. He didn't mind, like, any gold. He only got enough gold for limit 10A. So I was like, okay, he has no eco upgrades. So that's nice. He's on wood and he's on berries, which are protected. So I just went for the wood line. And I went in and I was like, fuck yeah, bro. 1 worker? That's pretty good. Like, at this level, getting 1 worker is pretty nice. But because I have to transform JD into a unit, I'm behind 1 worker technically. So I go in here, I'm like, okay, another one? Fucking love that. And then, it started off so well. And then, here I go AFK a little bit, I think. Oh yeah, I activate the ability and I move them again, but JD doesn't move. I had another knight over here coming. Boom! Another worker! Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's fucking go, baby. So he comes here and... this is one of those where I don't really want to fight, but I want to fight because I want to fight before 8 javelins show up. Once 8 are here together, then this becomes very rough, right? So, where are these javelins? Oh, they're here. They just spawned. So I decide to just go for a fight. My micro was alright. I should have killed this, by the way. I don't know why I didn't. But I'm killing some units. You know, I got the scout. I have a knight here harassing. And one thing I noticed is... Did I kill this? Oh yeah, I killed another one. So 4 workers. So one thing I noticed, he didn't have that many farms. Which means that he will either not have more javelins because of lack of oil income, or he's gonna move out on the map, which, you know, both were fine for me. So here I'm killing some more shit. I go around the Limite, I jump on the javelins, and I'm getting a shit ton of XP. So I'm like, I'm trading, and, you know, it's not good for me. I'm definitely losing that fight. But, you know, at least I'm getting experience, which is pretty good. Because once she gets level 3, she becomes really hard to kill. Versus this unit comp, right? So I go in. I think she gets sniped here. I heal. Yeah, and she gets sniped. So I was like, rip. And I had no gold. I run away, and I thought I might lose here. Because it was pretty bad, right? I get pushed off of boar. And I only had... Oh no, I had 3 deer remaining. 4 deer. So I was like, okay, this is pretty bad. I have no knights. I have no JD. I can't buy JD back. So I was like... I actually canceled the knight here. I just started it. I canceled it because I wanted to buy JD. And I was like... Nah, I'll just keep it. Like, I'll just let JD res on her own. I had 3 knights going around the map harassing, and then again I see no farms. So I knew that he is most likely on these or these berries, because otherwise, you know, he won't be able to produce javelins, which is kind of disastrous. So I check here, there's nothing. I check here and I find it, and I'm like, okay, he's on the berries so that I can attack something. I start making some horsemen because I was pushed off the gold, so I wasn't mining. And so I'm going around because I'm trying to attack the berries, right? I want to fight so I can get level 3 basically. So I see this, I kill it, and then I see these units. And I'm like, that's it, I'm committing. Like the moment I saw this, I knew I'm just gonna commit fully, and even if I trade out everything and maybe even trade out a bit worse, it's still going to be good for me. I knew he had some units here. He probably had some units here. So his army is not all there, but this is my whole army, right? Except these 2 knights, this is my whole army. So I just decided to insta-go for it. And there was only 7 javelins. He tries to snipe the JD. I pull her back around. So I'm still trying to go in to get experience, but I don't want her to get sniped, right? And javelin throwers are almost dead. I have too many archers, and I'm just kiting on this side, coming from this side, and as I'm cleaning all these up, she levels up. I immediately get John's champions because they do bonus damage against spearmen, so they're gonna wreck Limite, and at this point, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. At this point, I just have way too many units. And still, the farms are not done. This knight is still harassing, still causing some idle time, which is really good for me. And now I can just clean up. Now this ability does 100 damage, and Javelin Thrower's got 70 health. So you'll see, you can one-tap them now. So, whoop. I get a ram, and I just start ramming the towers and the buildings one by one. I think I didn't want him to age up now, so I just kind of decided to go for it. But you'll see here, I'm waiting to use ability. And you just one-shot a Javelin Thrower. Then obviously he can't spam too many, right? Because he just got the farms, and I know he didn't get berries, so his Javelin Thrower production is not that good. This is I think the 3rd snipe that I've done with the ability on the jabs. Now the houses are going down, and at this point, I mean, the army difference is way too big, so. Another jab goes down, and he taps out. So, after winning this game, I obviously felt like really, really comfortable. Because, yeah, this is not a good matchup for me. So because it's not a good matchup for me, if I lose, it's like I lost with one of the, you know, worst civs against the best civs. It's like, it is what it is. Or one of the best civs. But if I win, it's really bad for morale, right? For him. It's kind of like playing, I don't know, like HRE versus Delion Water and losing his HRE. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're not supposed to lose that kind of thing. So I felt pretty good. Now we got Socotra, which is one of the new maps. It's basically very tiny map. It's like a normal, it's like a dry Arabia, just tiny. I went for the Tower Rush, of course. Now, on this map, the gold always spawns in the back. Always, always. Like this. But also you can make ships, and you can attack through the water with like arrow ships and stuff. Now, there's no fish on this map, so the water is just to harass the outside golds and food and all that. Like, the whole point of the map is there's a lot of resources touching the edge of the map, and you can attack it with units, or you can attack it with boats. So I go for a little tower here. I put it a bit closer. And I start working on the pit mine. Because this tower is in the range of the pit mine, so he can't repair it, right? He can repair it now, but the moment tower finishes, he can't. Which you're about to see. I go for another tower. I put the units inside. He loses the worker, which is like, you know, he just lost with JD again, or with Byzantine against JD, and now he lost the worker. Like, if that's me, I'm molding. So, funny thing happened here, which I saw later when I watched the replay. So, I saw him build an archer range, right? I can see it from here. He's having an archer range. So, I go for tower. He pulls the villagers. I get the spearmen there. But for some reason, I thought that the archer range was up already producing for a bit. So I was like, there's no point to keep making tower because the archer is going to come out soon. The archer was not coming out. So I canceled the tower, which I shouldn't have. I could have finished it easily. But I canceled it, which, you know, if I didn't, that tower would be shooting at the wood line here, which would be basically game ending. But I canceled it. It is what it is. Misplay. I'll make another tower here to reinforce the position. And then I just torch this, which is already really, really good for me. He tries to get this gold in the middle. I go into a Keshik or two because he has javelin throwers. He does a little push, and I'm trying to just, you know, do harassment wherever I can, poke the gold. It's a very small map, and it's a bit weird to play. Because there's not a lot of space you can use to, like, harass and go around, but, you know, that's just how the map is. So this is still going. He didn't break it, so I know that he's only in 1 gold. I checked this with the villager. And this is like a classic cutie thing that happens right here. Cutie patootie. I go for a tower, right? He's got no clue. I went all the way around. I made sure to send the villager when the scout wasn't there. I go all the way. He's got no clue, right? If this tower goes up, it's like awful for him, right? Because his villagers would have to go here. Or here, which I can attack. And then he makes a blacksmith. And I saw it immediately, by the way, the moment the blacksmith went up, but I'm just like, really? It is what it is. He sees it. I try to finish it because I was like, maybe he won't see it. He did see it. So here I'm breaking this. I'm going around. I'm just doing some harassing, you know, because I saw his units were here, so I just decided to push through. And oh yeah, I didn't show, I think. I killed 2 workers here trying to build this. I'm trying to harass on this side. And basically, Malian is really good against Mongol, in my opinion. But there's a point that you reach against Malian in general, where it's like javelins counter archers, but then you reach a point where you have so many archers that you would have to micro javelins really well to not do insane amounts of overkilling. So at this point I'm just bumping archers, I'm getting a tower here and there for movement speed. I got my deer stones covered. He destroyed these towers, so now I know he's gonna be under gold here, right? Because he moved away from this one, so he's gonna be under gold here. I'll make another tower here just to get some vision, you know. And I make a little dock. Did he see this dog, by the way? Because his scout went in. I don't know if he saw it. Okay, he didn't. So I'm making a dock, and obviously I want to attack this. He made a tower at the bottom as well. And yeah, I'm just making archers. He's making javelin thrower Donzo. The arrow ship is out. And I kept trying to snipe workers here, but he had a pretty good reaction to the harassment. He was moving pretty much insta. I lose Khan, GG. I'm sniping some units. I have more units, but again, there's a lot of javelin throwers, you know. Snipe some more here. He changed Manzak Warrior to stone so he can upgrade the tower. I got more arrow ships just to be annoying here. And I was like, I moved a lot of villagers to gold because I was like, okay, let's just age up. My plan here was to age up and go for upgraded archers and then do a push. Because he's kind of on the, you know, playing very defensive right now. And if he comes on open, like this is the thing about Malians, if you come on open and you get surrounded or you get overwhelmed, you know, you're just gonna lose everything. The Gasses were talking about a situation where he barely had jabs. No, he had enough jabs from the get-go. Like his first 5 military units were javelins. So I would need like 10 or 12 plus archers probably to deal with that efficiently, so there was no point where I could have pushed for that. He had 6 versus 30 archers. I mean, like, yeah, if I had a whole map vision, I would have probably pushed, you know, but you know, I don't know how many units he has at all times, so like there's also, because he also had javelins here defending, and I don't know if he had javelins here or he had more javelins here, so you don't want to do YOLO moves, because you know, that's the worst way to play RTS, which is like, I hope he doesn't have X or Y. So my Kurultai finishes, I age up, I go back, I'm waiting for my upgrades to finish, I get some shopping going because I didn't have enough wood and food. Arrow ships come back. He's aging up with Farimba. Now this is an interesting thing. So you might be wondering, why is he aging up with Farimba? I think he cannot fit the landmark here. He only has 3 cows, by the way, but I don't think he can fit the landmark here. So he is going for Farimba because, you know, he could have made the cow landmark like here and then move these cows, but there's like a lot of shit going on and it's kind of pressing for him to age up. So I decided to do a push, and now archers are doing a shit ton of damage against javelins, right? And here he had like about 11-12 workers on shift Q onto the gold when they finish aging up. So they just ran through my units and he lost every single one of them there. I had some Keshiks raiding in the back, so now it's 18 workers killed. I'm pushing in before the javelin upgrade completes. He's pulling workers, obviously it's getting a little bit messy for him, and now I'm up 26 workers killed. He gets javelin upgrade, and I just decide to pack it up and go back, because right now I'm transitioning to mass man-at-arm. I'm getting some crossbows because I had no wood. So, you know, most of my workers were on food plus gold. So I was just making some crossbows not to lose momentum, making men-at-arms. And the thing is, if I do a man-at-arm transition, he's completely unprepared for men-at-arms, right? He has no Musafatis, and even if he makes Musafatis, I have like 39 archers, right? So. Now, I made 2 airships here and 2 demos, because I can snipe this tower and, you know, harass the gold if it's still up. Obviously it wasn't, but I didn't know that. So I'm coming in. I see this. I decide to do a little poke in right here. Demos destroy the tower. And now I know he's either on gold here or here, because I had a unit on this side of the map, so I know he's not there. And again, I go for the big push. I made 2 mangonels just to end the game, because pushing into javelin throwers here is like really weird, and I can throw the game maybe. He went sofas, but I already had few crossbows, not too many, but I have 26 men-at-arms, which he has like no answer to, right? So the 2 mangoes again is just to kind of seal the deal basically at this point. Because I could have made a ram or 2 maybe, to try to just start knocking down buildings. Khan dies, as you do. But I was just like, ah, fuck it, let's just go. I get a little mangonel shot here. Look at this. I tried to hit javelins, but my units were getting stuck on top of one another. Or my mangonels were getting stuck, so they couldn't reach. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna send it on the melee units. And I get a fat hit right there with the triple mango. And the archers and the crossbows are mowing down. The man-at-arms are tanking. Boom. And he taps out. GG. That was game number 2. So, King of the Hill, this is a funny one. So, Demo versus Louis series happening earlier in the day. And Louis won with Ottoman on this map. So, he had Ottoman Zerton, and I was like, Ottoman is a pretty popular pick, because basically this is what happens. If you both rush castle, and Ottoman gets the sacred site first, because they will have some units from military school, then Ottoman is getting free siege, free units from military schools, and all they need to do is make siege and keeps, and China has to make everything, right? So Ottoman will actually have more units, because the weakness of Ottoman is feudal. It's not necessarily castle. Like, once they're in castle and they have 5 military schools, they're fucking, or 4 military schools, they're cranking units, right? So I was like, let's go back to the roots. And the roots of this matchup, even from like 6 months ago, if you just make Zuginu, Ottoman is dead. So, you know, like, Jushi Legacy versus Ottoman is really one-sided, in my opinion, for Jushi Legacy. Because you just make Zuginu and you fucking tent him in. So I was like, okay. He's probably going to be expecting me to go 1 TC Castle Rush or 2 TC into moving out. So I was like, I'll just Zuginu all in. Because I didn't think he would expect it. And a lot of people like Barbican on the middle and shit, or Barbican on the deer, or like Barbican there. I was like, nah, I'll just make a Barbican right next to my base. I'll just protect my gold. There's like, I don't need this deer. I don't need this. I don't need Barbican there. If I'm killing him, why do I need to defend my stuff? I just need to defend now against Spearmen. So, I age up with Barbican with 1. I go Imperial Academy. Again, on this map, people are going Sultan Hani Trade Network, because it gives you as much income as Manza Quarry from Malians, like I think it's 72 gold. Because you don't need a lot of food as Ottoman in this map. So I age up, and I don't know if like he was spreading my deer and stuff. You know, like he spread both my deer packs, which is good from him. And I I don't know at what point he realized what I was doing, because everything still looks kind of normal. Like, this looks like a 2TC maybe build, right? And he is just going for the age up. So you can see that he's got a... Look, he's pulling the workers. So, at this point, he saw few workers here, few workers on gold, and he saw on wood. So I'm assuming... Look, he's having spearmen on stone. So I'm assuming that he thinks that I'm going for 2 town center, because he's also seeing an archer range. Or I don't know if he saw it, but, you know, so maybe he thinks to clear up spearmen. I don't know. But he moved away from the wood, right? Which made him think, he thinks that he can go castle now, right? So at this point I get a Zuginu out, which again, still might mean that, you know, I'm just gonna go to DC. But he switches over back to wood. I don't know if it's because he saw a Zuginu or what, because I don't think he scouted the triple archer range. But he starts going back on wood and starts producing units. And at this point, I have triple archer range. I got my main eco upgrades. I'm going to get military upgrades soon. He still has villagers here, by the way. So I just come in here. He does not see. Boom, boom. 3 workers go down, and already this is a pretty bad start from him. And you can see him like not panic building, but you know, he's almost at the age up. So some people wondered, like, why did he not just age up? So, like, why didn't he just age up and then make men-at-arms? So let's say he did not make stables in arch ranges and just age up. Let's say he's aging up right now. He would have no production buildings, because I can just, if he had 0 units right now, I can just, and let's say he's age 3. I just go around and I prevent wood chopping, and that's it. Now, he also doesn't have gold, so he wouldn't be able to sustain men-at-arm production too long. And he also doesn't have a lot of sheep remaining. So, yeah. But making units this late is kind of too late. So I go for Siege Workshop, or Siege, whatever the fuck it's called. Make veteran rams, and I start working on the blacksmith. I didn't even know, by the way, that his upgrade was so close. I just made another ram and I just went for it. But +1 ranged armor gets denied. Literally last second. So now I'm kiting, I got blacksmith, I'm getting stables, he's getting some idle time. Now I do lose this battle, but my unit production is way higher than his because my income is a lot better than his. If you look at the incomes that we have, I have like 1.5k and he's got 900 income per minute. So he does lose the stables, he loses the upgrade, and already I have my next army ready to go. I'm on 5 archer ranges and I'm even supervising one of them. I have all the upgrades that I need. I'm getting the food upgrade now. And he doesn't have enough Sipahi to deal with this. I sniped Mekter. I think I killed one earlier as well. And yeah, you just make, again, see, you make rams and you just go again. And in this position, there's not really much you can do. Like, the game is already over. I went for a wall here because I knew that he's going to be running out of food soon, so I just go for a wall to prevent him gathering this. His other deer pack is right here, so there's nowhere really for him to kind of go. So yeah, I'm just destroying one building at a time. I don't need to like go around and attack these villagers or something. He's just gonna move away, so I'll just stay here, killing one unit at a time. I decide to rotate over here. Look at that Zuginu count. Printing. Mekter almost goes down. It survives on 4 health. I make more rams. This is his second military school, by the way, so He was on one military school pretty much the whole time, right? I'm getting a tower here. I'm gonna make another tower soon. And now he goes for berries. But because it's walled, his units start going around. I saw this Sipahi, by the way. So I redirect 3 of my Zuginu over here. And he knows there's a wall, so he's going to break it. Now, he doesn't see that there's a tower, so he decides to go for it. I'm ramming on this side. I made an archer, I didn't even know that. So he breaks in, but there's 2 towers, so he just immediately bails. And he's not killing the Zuginu mass, so he GG's out. Do you think this would have gone a lot different for him if he scouted the multiple archer ranges? The thing is, problem with Ottoman is if you're gonna fight in feudal, you have to fight in feudal immediately, right? You can't be like, I'm going castle, oh, I gotta make units. Because the only strength you have, there's 2 strengths if you're Ottoman. Strength number 1 is Mehter. Strength number 2 is military schools. And you cannot just make military schools and catch up with units, right? You have to have military schools pretty much immediately. It's kind of like an investment, right? You know, you're investing into a building that over time is generating resources. And the longer you have your military schools, the better it is for you, right? Early feudal is pretty bad for Ottoman. So the fact that he didn't make units immediately meant that he was already behind. The only thing that would make him come back is if I didn't attack. If I just kept attacking, he can't come back because I'm already fully producing units. So I don't know, like potato, tomato, tomato, like coulda, woulda, shoulda. I don't know. I don't usually like analyzing too much what my opponent could have done better, because obviously I don't want to give them tips. You know, tell them like, oh, they should have played this against me. That's better. But also, it's hard for me to say that they should have done this or that, because maybe they wouldn't play it like I would, or I wouldn't play it like they would. So, yeah, there it is. We got a win with JD, with Mongol, and with China. You know, not my...
Nice game, sir.
I would say not necessarily good civs, because I think I'm decent with those civs. Not my, I guess, like, main civs, top priority civs, whatever you want to call it, but I was pretty happy with the series. So this is how this thing went, right? So if I played these 3, and he has played these civs. So basically the last, let's say it was a 1-2 or a 2-1 for me at this point, right? Last 2 maps, 4 Lakes and Holy Island. I can play Abbasid on Holy Island. I can play Jushi Legacy, HRE. Oh, sorry, on 4 Lakes. And then on Holy Island, I can play Jushi. I can play HRE. I could have even played Abbasid, because the civs that he had remaining for the last 2 maps were Japanese, Delhi, and Ayubid. Now, Japanese is good, so he could have played it at 4 Lakes, Holy Island. But then he can play Delhi or Ayubid, which compared to HR or Jushi are massive disadvantage playing into it, right? So it's kind of how it is, right? So there it is. I think the draft went pretty well for me, and his biggest chance to win the series was winning the first 4 games, I guess, because the 5th game would be like the water map that he just doesn't have a Civ for. So felt pretty good. Again, next week I will be playing against Kiljardi on June 8th. We're going to take him out for a swim. Some of the other matches, Marino versus Louis, Cat versus Demo in the elimination match, Zertan versus Bean elimination match. And today, these are the matches that are happening. So, there it is. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. I hope you liked the analysis. I'm going to be making more of these. I'm going to be making another one next week when I do the match against Kilardi. If there's some good series that I want to analyze, I just watched these other games on my stream, just kind of sped through them. But if there's some like really good series that I can make a video out of, or analyze, or show you guys some interesting strats, I will do that tomorrow after the matches we're having today. So if you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Check me out on Twitch and Pro Live right now. Check out my clips channel, Beastyqt Clips on YouTube, and I have a Beasty Chill on Twitch, which is my second Twitch channel for other games. Twitch gamers, let's keep going.